guys, it's Colin here. Welcome to another chakra balancing practice. I'm glad you guys could join me for this. This time we're going to move from the root chakra to the chakra just above it, which is the sacral chakra. And this is the one that's going to help with creativity and intuition. So in your life, you're going to need to be able to deal with your problems in a creative way using both emotion and intellect. And this practice hopefully will get you in that right state of mind and state of body to practice that and apply it to your real life. So we're going to start lying down. And just allow yourself to settle on the mat. Let your bones and muscles get really heavy. And start bringing attention to your breathing. Put your right hand on your belly and feel it rise as you inhale and fall towards your spine on each exhale. Just check in here. And then bring the soles of the feet to touch in reclined, bound angle, Supta Baddha Konasana. Just let the knees fall heavy towards the mat. If this is too much for you, you can have the feet further out. The closer you are, the higher up you are, the more intense it's going to be. And just breathe here. Hug the knees into the chest. And then send the legs out long. We're going to experiment with some hip mobility, some hip flow. So bring your right knee into your chest and then slowly, with control, let it fall out to the right. And without using your hand to guide it, let it fall out to the right. And then extend that hip or extend that leg out long. And then once it's extended, bring it to the other side, so bring it out to the left. And then once you get up to your height that feels comfortable, bend the knee, and then rotate it. So we're rotating in our hip joint here. We're allowing the hip to externally rotate, which is what we are at right here. And then we extend the leg and allow the hip to internally rotate towards the left. So play with this movement here. You get creative, go at your own pace, your own flow, and start to feel the mobility. Start to feel your own range of motion without judging, without thinking that it's good or bad. And use control here. Don't rush this. This might feel uncomfortable if you're not used to rotating the hip. And we'll do two more. Next time your leg comes to straight out in front of you, place that leg back down on the mat, and then Pull that left knee into your chest as much as you can. Give it a good stretch. And then let it fall out to the left. So same thing on this side. Let it fall out, externally rotate. Straighten the leg. Turn the toes to the right. And with a straight leg, bring that leg across. Bend the knee when you get to the top of your legs mobility or hip mobility. And then repeat the motion. So if you repeat this over time, you'll start to get a better sense of your hip joints. A lot of times we neglect those. We don't necessarily pay much attention to them unless there's something wrong. But a lot of our ability to be creative, our ability to be open to new things and approach things with a sense of openness, really, is closely related to the way that we open our hips. So if you're open in your hips, you'll be open in your life, basically. We'll do 2 more. Try to keep your shoulders on the ground when you do this too. And then the next time you straighten that leg, lower the heel down to the ground, shake the legs out. And then make your way up to a seated position. Let's sit up nice and tall here. And then cross your left leg over the right. Bring the right elbow to the outside of that left leg. The left hand somewhere behind you. Get a gentle spinal twist, as well as a hip stretch in the outer left hip. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, get a little bit deeper. Inhale back to center. Take the ankles, grab them with the hands, and pull them to wherever feels comfortable. And just sit here for a moment, sitting up nice and tall. And really surrender into that hip. Feel a nice stretch right along this outer hip. We never really want to fight these stretches. We want to allow them to settle, allow our bodies to come into this moment. And even though it might be uncomfortable, just taking a moment to feel what it is that you're feeling and letting it pass. But always knowing the difference between pain and just regular discomfort, because discomfort is what we want. Pain is not. And your body will know the difference. Bring your legs back. Again, crossing the right leg over the left. This hip might be tighter, I know it is for me. And then Bring the left elbow around, right hand behind you. Sit up tall. Exhale, release. Inhale back to center. Take a minute to grab the ankles, and without cranking the legs back. Just bring them to where you feel a comfortable edge, an uncomfortable, comfortable edge. And just keep a little bit of pressure either on the feet or the ankles, maybe even the shins. Start to settle here. Slowly untangle the legs. You can shake them out a little bit in front of you. Give them this quick little massage. And then take the legs out wide. Take a minute to straighten your spine. Make sure the pelvis is in a neutral position. So sometimes we're out here. Sometimes we're here, but just come to where it feels like your pelvis is in line with the rest of your spine. And then sit up nice and tall, get long through the neck. Relax the eyeballs, relax the mouth. And then start to hinge forward. Keeping a flat back, just ease into this. Every breath, allow yourself to sink deeper. Keep the feet flexed. Inhale. Slowly rise back up. And then we'll flip to a tabletop. Take a quick cat-cow here. So bring the knees hip width distance apart. Palms underneath of the elbows, underneath of the shoulders. Come to a neutral spine. Extend the crown of your head out long in front of you. And then on an inhale, bring the chest forward, the shoulders back, the belly drop. Exhale, arch the back, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, push the earth away. Get creative here. You can get a side stretch here, maybe do some circles. You go side to side, you'll feel a little bit more in your hips. If you're moving in one direction, switch sides, go the other way. And come to a neutral spine. Send the legs out a little bit wider, so about at the edge of your mat. Straighten the feet so that they're parallel to one another. And then sink back. You might even widen them longer than the mat, depending on how flexible your hips are. I'm not going to do that because I'm on some hard floor here. It's not quite comfortable. But essentially, sink down into this, into frog pose. Again, the difference here between a frog pose and a child's pose is really just the fact that our legs are parallel to one another, whereas in child's pose, the toes might be touching right now. And just breathe here, connect with the breath. Let that breath carry you deeper into this, allowing yourself to surrender to the stretch. And come back up to a tabletop position. And then send the legs out long for plank. Take a minute to feel this plank. Stretch the ankles back. Shift your weight side to side, forward and back. And then inhale. Exhale. Come up to a down dog. Inhale, sweep the right leg up to the sky. Exhale, send it through, and lower that back knee. We're here, a low lunge. You can keep the hands down, or you can bring them to the knee. And your hip flexor on the left leg is what's getting the major stretch here. So if you want a deeper stretch, you can send that leg out longer. If it's too intense for you, bring it in shorter. Feel where you're at. Let the hips sink deep. And then curl that toe, those back toes under, straighten that leg. Step back to another plank. We'll flow through a vinyasa here. So inhale, exhale, lower chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And then exhale, come back to a down dog. This time we'll inhale the left leg up. Exhale, send it through, lower the right knee. We're here, lunging on the other side. Keep in mind that anytime we do a lunge or a warrior one pose, we're tracking the legs in two separate lanes. So when you sweep that leg through, keep it closer to the left hand, and vice versa if you're on the right side, because that allows you to get deeper into that hip stretch. It allows you to pull back this left hip, which in turn stretches the right hip deeper. You can't do that when one leg is directly in line with the other. And curl the right toes under, straighten the leg, step back, plank pose. Inhale, flow through your vinyasa. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, we're back in down dog. So inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, step or hop to the front of the mat. And just get creative with this forward fold. You can clasp the elbows. You can rock side to side. You can move the head slightly back and forth, up and down. Just let it swing. Or you can be completely still. It's your manifestation of your creativity. And in that sense, it is your practice. Feel this full release. If you have the elbows clasped, release them. Release the hands to the mat. Inhale, straighten the spine, lift halfway, pull the shoulders back. Exhale, down to a forward fold. And on an inhale, slowly from your feet to your calves, to your thighs, to your butt, to your low back, thoracic spine, neck, and finally head. Feel yourself tall here. And then come to a wide stance, facing the long edge of your mat, toes pointed towards the corners of the mat. And you might have to widen or narrow your stance depending once we go down into our pose. We're going into a goddess pose, so essentially without moving the pelvis, keeping the pelvis in a neutral position, bend the knees. Arms in a 90-degree angle, cactus arms we call this. And broaden across the chest. And feel your creativity start to move you in this pose, or perhaps keep you still. Maybe you come up onto the toes, maybe your ankles crack like mine. Start becoming more free in this goddess pose. This pose is very much an expression of creativity. Move through a short flow here. So inhale, straighten the legs, straighten the arms. Exhale, come back down. See if you can get a little lower this time. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale. Exhale. Do one more. And then hold here. We're going to try breath of fire. I don't recommend this if you're pregnant or if you're on your period. So if you're one of those two things, or if you just don't feel comfortable with this, you don't need to do this breath. You could just do long, slow inhales and exhales. So essentially our breath of fire is a forceful exhale where we're pulling in and up in the navel, and the inhale becomes passive. So it will happen automatically. So take a deep inhale. Exhale fully. Inhale halfway and begin. Inhale. Exhale, hold this pose. And on your next inhale, straighten the legs, crack the ankles. Come to mountain. Eyes closed, feet hip-width distance apart, firmly rooted on the mat. Pelvis is neutral, spine is long. Feel the connection that you have created in this part of your body where all of your intuition, your creativity stems from. When we talk about trusting our gut, and this is what we mean. We mean approaching every new and novel circumstance with our guidance from within. So I hope this practice has allowed you to trust in that force within you. When you notice it, it becomes a very powerful tool. Bring the hands to heart center, bow the head. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and share this video with anyone that you think needs a sacral chakra balancing in their life. Namaste.